Herzlich willkommen. Today we're going to discuss the latest news about Elon Musk as he is moving the markets nowadays and it's getting absolutely annoying. But today we're going to discuss Bitcoin, the likelihood of another run up from here, and also Dogecoin we have to discuss as that's also one of the coins that's moving relatively fast. But before that, do not forget to subscribe beneath and also like the YouTube video and comment if you want to see some special content, as tomorrow we're going to do a new educational video, and on Sunday I'm going to make a new fundamental video in which I'm going to explain my top 5 DeFi projects. So let's get to Bitcoin, in which we've had lots of bad news yesterday. We've had Tetherford, we've had Elon Musk saying something about the about Bitcoin payments through buying a Tesla, which I see people blaming him for. Well, I think it's a strange story that he made this decision, but he's still owning billions of dollars in Bitcoin, and he's still a huge fan of the cryptocurrency market. So I don't believe that we should shoot him. However, the market is currently relying a lot about his tweets, in which that once he tweets, the market moves, which is kind of annoying, or getting annoying, as it's been there for months already. So yeah, it would be great if Twitter just mutes his account, but just like they done with Trump. But right now we did see that the price of Bitcoin dropped down. We also saw that Binance got some investigation news. Well, the initial news was quite negative, but if we rely on Binance itself, they are actually cooperative in working further or progressing with those investigations. So the price of Bitcoin collapsed, and from a technical standpoint, we have discussed that the chances of it dropping down were there already, and we're going to discuss that in a little bit. But also, the fundamentals or the FUD is there, but that's not, the market is still in a bullish perspective. So I'd like to go through the chart as I've done yesterday in the live stream as well, through which we can start discussing why it would be dropping down already and why we are on a critical level of support right now. And to do that, we have to start zooming out on the daily time frame, and then we can start seeing the levels that we should be looking at as a very important perspective here. So let's get to the charts, and we can start discussing everything that you want to know about Bitcoin. And I've used a clean chart right now. As you can see, that we've got a range about low, which is the area between 42 to 46k. That's the area that you preferably want to see sustain as support, especially given the 21-week MA that is beneath us, especially given the fact that the RSI on a weekly time frame is also resetting. So most likely we're getting to a support zone quite soon, and we're getting to a bounce as well. But we get to that in the lower time frame charts in a little bit. Then we also see that the previous resistance became resistance again. The previous resistance became resistance, through which a drop down or drawdown or drop south was most likely going to happen, as this is the range low that we should be holding, and also this range is very important to watch. Yes, we've got a lower high, so therefore the arguments for further downwards momentum are significantly there. That's why this entire green zone is a critical area to hold. If that is failing to hold, I'm going to assume that we are getting a drop south as well. So critical breaker on the upside is 59 to 61k. That is pretty much the zone that we should be breaking through. I'm not wanting it to make it orange, so there we go. So let's see what the 4 hours shows us. Well, we do know that this breaker here was is the actual breakthrough area. So if Bitcoin wants to become bullish, it has to break through that level, but we can see that we failed to do so. And then we had this drop down, and then we have this bounce up towards that resistance zone, rejection, and another drop south. So when we start to look at the 2-hour time frame, we can argue that we've got the exact same on lower time frames. So in this case, the critical support to hold failed to hold as support, and the price cascaded south. In this case, what we have in the current price action, we do know that we've got this block here, but we also had to hold on to this support area. That was the critical support area. We didn't do that, so we failed to, or we dropped down towards the 53k zone. In that bounce, you want to get through this breaker. So in this case, you want to get through this breaker that we have here. However, Bitcoin didn't want to break through it and reject it. So the chances at this stage that we were going down and test this support area again were significant. And then all of a sudden Elon Musk comes around with news and it slams even further. And when it loses this support area, what area of support are you looking at next? That's this region here. So breaking through this entire range at 53k made the price drop towards the area around 48. And yes, of course we can overshoot, but that's not too bad. We got there, and now we can see that we might be getting a bottoming construction. So when we look at the 30-minute time frame, we also, I first have to say the 2-hour time frame, we've got this breaker to the downside. So what's the critical area right now? That's this zone. We want to see a breaker through that level here. So now we get to the 30-minute time frame, in which we can see that this entire region is the critical area to break through. If that breaks, and most likely in this video and during the update we're trying to do so, but initially we rejected, you want to see a previous support zone holding as support again, or previous support here becomes support again, as we can see. Next to that, we've got a bullish divergence, which generally means that we're going to have some upwards momentum. So right now, to avoid further downwards momentum for Bitcoin, you clearly want to see this area hold for support. That's the critical breaker. And on the upside, the critical breaker is this region that we have here. So currently we are into a resistance zone. Most likely we get something like this. But once we break through this resistance zone, I think we're going to have a continuation towards 54k. And then we can see altcoins running significantly again. And most likely we will be getting something like this, in which we bottom out or have a construction in which we start to continue running upwards since then. Just like we have been doing in any of those bottoming construction, I think we will be having the same here, in which people generally start to turn bullish around resistance and start to turn bearish around support, while you should actually be buying at support. So what about altcoins at this stage? Well, we do know that Dogecoin has been running up significantly already. And I've covered Dogecoin, in which I said that the actual areas that I want to get a trade going, which is the same as on Shiba Inu, is the level that we have here around 730 sats and this green zone. You never chase candles. So if you were patiently waiting around this area to take the entry, you would have been up about 58% and had a pretty clean trade, as this entire block that we have here is your first entry point. And as you can see, we just discussed breakers. This is the crucial breaker that Bitcoin has to, or Dogecoin has to go through, which at this stage it's not doing. So most likely we'll get a drawdown, and then we might be testing it again. So what's next on Dogecoin? Well, if Elon Musk is going to tweet about it, I think we can have some more momentum on it. But it shows you why you should not be chasing candles at all. Shiba Inu is another one in which we discussed that there might be an interesting point to enter, and I've actually shared this on Twitter. The fact is that the same chart as with Dogecoin, you don't want to trade the one here, you want to look for entries around here. So now you would have been into a trade, you would have even had 50% profits on it, but the crucial breaker on the upside is somewhere here if we get such an upside run. So at this stage, probably we get something like this. If it follows natural price action, but if the green zone is lost around 1400, I'm going to assume that we're getting towards the range around here. So do not chase your trades. You get those entries, and when the market is bearish or turns red, that's the moment when you start taking those trades. So do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you again tomorrow with a new educational video.